Hey everybody, my name is Laura. I am the teen librarian here at the Franklin Public Library, and today I am going to be showing you how to make your own photo coasters. So this is a really pretty easy, pretty cool craft that make really nice gifts, or you can keep them for yourself. So I'm going to first go through what our supplies are. The first thing you will need is one blank tile. These I just got at Lowe's and they're like 14 cents each. So these are pretty easy and cheap to get. It's just regular tile. You will need a pair of scissors, probably a pencil. You will need felt because this is going to go on the bottom to make sure that it doesn't scratch your table. You will need Mod Podge. So this is something that is a crafting supply, and this is included in our teen takeout kit, but if you weren't able to get a kit, you can get Mod Podge at any craft store. It usually comes in a container about yay big, but it's just kind of a gluey sort of like sealant. You will need regular glue. You will need a foam brush. This will also be included in your kit, or you can get it separately. You will need, this is a template that I created, and this just is to show you how big to make your design that you want to go on your coaster. So that's what this is for. And then you will need your picture. So this is what you would choose, what you want to go on your coaster. So I decided to print out a picture that I had online. If you wanted to, you could take your templates and you could design something yourself. If you wanted to paint or do, colored pencil on there, that would be another option. So we will go ahead and get started. So the first thing you are going to want to do, I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on the felt first. So you want to take your little strip of felt and your scissors, and we're just going to cut this into 4 little rectangles here. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. So they don't need to be perfect, just 4 little corners. And then what you're going to do is take your tile, flip it around, and we are just going to glue your felt onto the corners of the bottom of your tile. So there's one, we got it. Glue on there. You can just line it up and just press it firmly on the bottom. So we'll do that for all 4. If you have Elmer's glue or school glue at home, this will work. If you had hot glue at home, that would work too. A hot glue gun would work great. Okay, number 2. Number 3. There we go. And number 4. Okay, so this is what you want it to look like. This is just little bits of felt cut into corners and glued. So that just makes it so it glides nicely and it's not going to scratch your tabletop. Okay, so that is step 1. Now we are going to go ahead and get our image ready to Mod Podge onto the tile. So what I am going to do is cut one of these out to use as a template. So I am going to cut out one of these squares. And again, if you wanted to, you could decorate the inside. That would be another option. This is just so you know what size you want to shoot for. You could also, if you didn't have a picture you wanted to use, you could print one out from the internet. Or if you have like a picture saved on Facebook or something like that, you could print it out as well. Just want to make sure it's the right size. Okay, so now this is the right size that we want. This is the image that I want. So now I am going to go ahead, line it up. I'll take my pencil here and I'm just going to trace around our square here for the template. Okay, here we go. So now I have that traced on here and I'm going to cut it out. And now anything that is left on the image is going to show up on your coaster. So if you did draw, you want to make sure you're cutting on the inside of your pencil line because you don't want that to show up on your coaster. Okay, there we go. So now I have my image. This is my cat, and I have it the right size here. If it's not quite the right size that you want it, you can go ahead and trim it. If you wanted it to more white to show, you could do that. One kind of cool option is that you can round the corners, and that kind of gives it a nice look. So I think I am going to do that and just make the corners round. Just kind of gives it a nice look. Makes it look like you ordered it online or something. Here we go. So as you can see, the corners are round. And double check my size here. Yep, that looks pretty good. So that is what the finished product is going to look like. So now I am going to show you how to Mod Podge it on. All right, so we can clear this out of the way here. Okay, so we have our Mod Podge, we have our tile, we have our image, and our brush. So now the first thing we're going to do is take our brush, we're going to dip it into the Mod Podge, and you want to do a pretty thin layer. Not all the way to the edge, but along the area that the image is going to be put on. So this kind of acts as a glue. So you just kind of want to paint it on there. It can be a pretty thin layer. Don't need a lot. Okay. And then I'm just going to take my image, and now this is important. You want to get it centered exactly how you want it. And if that looks good, then you can go ahead and smooth it out. There we go. And just make sure there's no air bubbles, nothing like that. Okay. So there we go. That looks pretty good. I like it. And then normally I would say let this dry. So you can, pause the video, keep watching, and just let yours dry. I would let it dry for at least probably about half an hour. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. So once this has dried for about half an hour, you just want to give it a chance to dry so there's no like bubbles or anything underneath. So after that, you're going to take more Mod Podge, and what you're going to be doing is painting a layer over your image and onto the white part of your tile. And this is what's going to keep it on. So again, you want to do nice even strokes, and you can do you probably want to pick a direction, either horizontal and vertical, and stick with that. A nice smooth, not too thick. It does not need to be thick, but just enough so so that it will stay on. There we go, that looks pretty good. So now, as you can see, it looks like there's some white on there, but this is gonna dry clear. So you do not need to worry about that. And then you would just go ahead and let this dry until it's totally dry, until you just wanna let it dry. It may be half an hour, it may be longer. Just let that dry completely. And then for the sake of time, I'm just gonna tell you what to do next. The only thing you have to do is you wanna do 2 to 3 more coats of the Mod Podge. So once this is completely dry, completely clear, completely dry, you would just do the same thing. You can put the cap back on your Mod Podge, and then when you're ready, just do that again. And then let it dry completely, half an hour, however long it takes, and then do it again. So this will be a project that you'll probably come back to throughout the day. But you just really, really want to make sure that you're letting it dry completely in between. And that is about it. So once this dries, it'll be clear, and you have your felt on the bottom to make sure that it doesn't hurt your tabletop. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can let us know. And we will see you next time for our next teen takeout craft. All right, have a good day.